I'm here outside Fox News at the very spot where Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth threw an axe that hit a member of a marching band on live television.
Axe. Who's going to win this battle? It's the lumberjack.
It was truly a historic moment and proof that we are living in the dumbest timeline.
Oh boy, welcome everybody. I'm Julie Roginsky here. I'm Michelle Kinney of the Mayday Network and our good friend, one of my favorite people in the world, and I'm not just saying that, I really mean it, my dear, dear friend, but also the brilliant Tom Moran, who just Substack a little while ago called the Jersey Lowdown. If you do not subscribe, it's not just about Jersey, although if you're from Jersey, you'll see a lot of good stuff there. Please subscribe to it over on Substack. For those of us watching on Substack, the Jersey Lowdown. I'm going to figure out the banner here just as soon as I figure out the banner here. There you go. Please subscribe to it. And
there it is.
Tom, you wrote a Substack today, which is why we came up with a brilliant idea to have you on, about Pete Hegseth and this whole debacle. Thoughts? Comments?
What an amazing clown. You know, it's because I almost felt bad writing the thing because it's so unimportant. But here he is saying, I don't like the photos until your photographs are. It's so revealing about a mindset that would kick the photographers out as a result of that. This guy, you could just tell he wants to rip off his shirt and flex in front of the cameras, you know. The right cameras, though. There it is. Yeah. And it fits neatly with his whole macho frat boy talk about the war. It just makes me sick. You know, that it's all celebration and chest thumping kind of tone. And meanwhile, you know, 175 girls are dead. You know, it's just, you would think he'd at least bring a grown-up tone to this, but he's not.
You know, I think people here who follow us know this. I worked with Pete at Fox, and I know Pete well, and I used to drink with Pete.
Sorry.
You drink. Pete's like, I don't know how to describe this. Pete's that guy that's been fired from every job he's ever had. And if Roger Ailes had still been running Fox News, Pete Hegseth would not have been anything more than a contributor, which is what he was. But then Roger left, and eventually a woman named Suzanne Scott became the head of Fox News. And she has, you know, to be careful what I say because I have an NDA, but she has this penchant for promoting young frat boys, right? Jesse Waters or Hegseth or Greg Gutfeld was not so young, but I mean, like, she likes that whole like frat boy thing. And you know, and Pete's a good looking guy, or was before, you know.
I mean,
life he was not now, but he was.
You're into that kind of thing, but sure.
I'm not. But
there's someone for everyone, I guess. Yeah.
I do not have the house Hegseth, please.
Not suggesting that. Not
please. But she did. And somebody here says she established a bro culture. Yeah, the bro culture kind of existed always, but it really, really flourished after Ailes' departure. And so he became the weekend guy, right? He became the weekend Fox and Friends guy, where you get to do shit like throw axes on the corner of 48th and 6th. It's not serious. And then, you know, he'd say all the right stuff and he'd do the jingoistic bullshit. And, you know, he served in the army. I don't think he ever became anything more than I think he was a captain, is the highest rank he ever got. But he basically flunked out of every aspect of his life until Fox came along. Like, he made no money, and that's not because there's any shame in not making any money, but he never got high enough to like actually earn a real living. Got basically let go or sidelined or kind of pushed out of every organization he ever ran. But he looked the part. And to Trump, that's important. And what I think is interesting is first you had Kristi Noem doing her weirdo cowboy ride past, you know, Mount Rushmore. And now you've got Pete, who's upset about photographs. Like, look at us. Look at how we come on air. Like, I'm not wearing a set of makeup.
We're terrible.
Michelle, I don't know. Michelle put on glasses, not because she needs them, because she just felt like it. The less said about you, the better. You're a mess. And like, we don't care.
I did put on a collar shirt.
Oh,
I mean, it's unusual for me.
We're honored. But I mean, like, you know, who cares?
Yeah.
This idiot
Well,
cares.
Yeah.
yeah. And we're just sitting talking about politics. Imagine caring if you're in charge of the Defense Department.
Mhm.
I mean, you'd think you'd have bigger things to think about. But this is typical, this is, look at all the sort of Barbie doll women he appoints too.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. It's all appearances and stuff.
And they
Look
weren't
at the way he does his hair. That too.
Ugh.
I mean, it's
Exactly.
exotic.
And they weren't Barbie doll women before Trump got a hold of them, right? They all
Well,
were-
no.
Yeah, and then they all got Mar-a-Lago face, which is
Yeah. Well, they all have to, they all have to make themselves recognizable to each other. It's like tribal. They have to recognize each other out in the wild. And to all the men of that certain persuasion as well, I guess. And the thing is too, and I was speaking to my sister-in-law who is staying with me right now. She's part of the Mayday Network, Lieutenant Colonel Jacqueline Urso. She's retired Marine. I was showing her this article and I showed her your Substack as well, Tom, and we giggled about it for a second, but then, she made a very good point. She said, we are at the precipice of World War III.
Yeah.
And the Secretary of Defense is concerned about what he looks like in photographs. If that doesn't tell us exactly what a small, fragile man he is, well, that they all are, I don't know what else will.
Yeah, and the spirit of censorship that's reflected in that too. I mean, that their immediate go-to is to let's punish the press. And keep in mind, right, if you were among those complete wimps who agreed to his 21-page directive about never saying anything that he doesn't authorize, you could still bring a photographer then, because which reveals that he knows their photographers are on his side and they're going to make him look as good as he can.
Right.
So that's know the truth. Not to mention, I mean, right before he took office, I read a book from a guy who headed our military weapons innovation office. I forget what the hell it's called, but it made major strides over the previous 10 years. And the book talked about how China could bring down an aircraft carrier with a weapon that costs $500,000 and that sort of thing, and how we need to keep up with these changes. And they eliminated that office. And even if they didn't, can you imagine the level of thought that the guy like this would put into it when he's running around throwing axes and checking his hairdo in the mirror? It's another one of those Trump moments where you think, could this really be serious? I mean, it's like the stopping a windmill project, $2 billion into it. Stop it. There's so many forehead slappers now.
Mm-hmm.
well
that as I say, this one obviously is not that serious. But it's just another forehead slapper. So
it's a reflection of a much greater problem. They only care about the outsides of things and not what's actually happening. And you talked about the press pool who agreed to sign that ridiculous, however many page thing it was. There is no Pentagon press pool really anymore. It's just a bunch of 25-year-old wannabe Nazi influencers who take selfies at the podium, and pictures with each other, including a much older than 25, Matt Gaetz, is part of that as well. And there is nobody telling the American people the real story of what's going on with the Defense Department and the Pentagon. We don't know.
I haven't really noticed the type of story that's missing, I guess, because I know you can't roam the halls at the Pentagon anymore, but they still have cell phones. I mean, I think they're still getting information, but it's certainly much more of it is coming from the outside. Like the whole Times thing on that girls' school, it didn't really rely on internal Pentagon sources. In fact, their analysis of the satellite images and all that stuff.
Yep.
So.
See, I think it is dangerous. And I know that we're sitting here laughing about what a loser he is, but the truth of the matter is I think it's dangerous because we are at war, despite what they want to call it. I mean, the president actually called it war, so I don't know why, we shouldn't call it what it is. As we speak, oil prices are skyrocketing. There's a possibility that the Iranians are going to mine the Strait of Hormuz. We are not escorting ships because it's too dangerous. So therefore, I don't know what this is going to do to the price of oil, and it's not going to be anytime soon that it's going to go down. You have fertilizer not being able to make it through, which is going to impact food supplies and American farmers. I might add, folks who voted for Trump, guess what you're about to get? Out of business, even more.
Right.
And there's a lot of stuff going on. This hasn't gotten enough attention, but Zelensky, apparently Volodymyr Zelensky, offered to sell Americans anti-drone technology because they've been dealing with a Shahed drone from Iran for the last 4 years. They have developed incredible technologies to how to deal with Shahed drones.
Right.
And we said no, which is crazy because they have battleground military experience just from having lived it. And it is not true that Iran is threatening drones to hit California. Drones cannot make it from Iran to California. And I want to be very clear about what I'm about to say in a second about that. But the point that I'm trying to make is, like, all of this is deadly serious, and the Secretary of Defense gives a shit about what he looks like in photographs. Like, there's only 24 hours in a day that you have time to worry about something, and he should be spending 24 of those 24 hours worrying about what I just talked about.
Yeah.
And not about the way he looks.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say one more thing before anything else, because people are asking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Iran does not have the capability to hit us from conventional standpoint. They don't have an ICBM. They don't have drones. They don't have the technology that could reach across the Atlantic Ocean or certainly across the Pacific Ocean to hit California. They're nowhere near either of those two places. They have the technology to hit Israel, which is about as far as they can hit. Right. What they why
do you think that they're warning us of that then?
Because I think there's a threat of a terrorist attack, and that's different than them launching something from Tehran. And that's something that this president and this administration are not taking seriously because they have gutted counterintelligence. They have fired 1,200 CIA officers. They have completely eviscerated the Department of Justice units that are supposed to be focusing on this. And at least prior to 9/11, our intelligence, which was awful, was at least present. We had people who were experts. These people just fired Iran experts a week or two before they invaded this war. They decided to launch this war because some of those Iran experts had worked on Trump's January 6th prosecutions of the FBI.
Yeah, and don't forget, Julie, something like half of the FBI's counterterrorism unit is now working on deportations.
Mm-hmm.
And the FBI director is pounding shots with the men's team in Milan.
But here's a prediction: if there is a terrorist attack, God forbid, they're going to blame the shutdown.
Of course,
because they'll say Department of Homeland Security, they tied our hands behind our back, and here it goes.
They'll blame the shutdown and just brown people, immigrants, the border, blah, blah, blah. It's always the same. Yeah.
I do wish some Democrat would stand up right now and say, let's fund everything but ICE and Border Patrol within DHS.
I think I saw something.
That offer was on the table, and the Republicans said no.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Video today, Brian Schatz was on the little tram, and he was talking about it, and he's like, it's the fact that they are choosing to, basically defund or whatever it is that they're doing to TSA, global entry, is shut down. He's like, this is ridiculous, and it's making us less safe.
Those TSA lines belong to the Republicans. Democrats offered to open the TSA.
And that's up to the Republicans, that's up to the Democrats to be messaging, which,
But you got to figure they have, if Iran, I think it's probably true that they are the leading sponsor of terrorism in the world, and we're just pounding the shit at them and they have no air defense. At some point, you have to figure that's going to happen.
I think it has to, right? I mean, when you have nothing to lose, what are you going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're the supreme leader, the United States just killed your father, your wife, your son, you're going to want revenge. I mean, they wanted revenge against Soleimani, and that was one guy. And he wasn't the supreme leader, right?
Right. And remember, early on in Trump's second term, he signed an executive order saying that if the Iranian regime was to assassinate him, that we were to obliterate the country. So cool.
Yeah.
Whole lots of fun.
Wild times.
Yeah. And just to kind of bring it back to just the Pete Hegseth part of this too, it's during his confirmation hearing, he didn't know what the five eyes were. He was under scrutiny for multiple accusations of sexual assault, alcoholism, addiction. He doesn't seem to know what anything is, financial mismanagement. And then comes Signalgate, where he's, punch emoji, fire emoji, whatever it is. It's all like this G.I. Joe chat room that they're all in together. And they're just playing government. And, these stories come and go, and then we move on because there's something else to talk about. There's something more important. But this really is just a through line to his character, to how he treats women, not just in terms of sexual assault, but how many wives has he had at this point? How many children does he have with how many women? I mean, he cheats on this woman with the next woman and more babies and this thing, and this is a man of poor character across the board.
Isn't it amazing, that it doesn't seem to cost them? Because, remember, like Obama wore a brown jacket in the Oval Office and it was a big deal. And I don't understand. I mean, I get there's this every day I go and check the New York Times Trump approval average poll, and it won't go below 41. I understood disapproval's been going up, but the approval rate won't go below 41. I've already got set up with friends that we're going to have a party when it breaks 40. But it's that's a problem. No matter, because even when we straighten this mess out, assuming we win in the midterm, true, we're believable.
You just disappeared on us, Tom.
Yeah.
What's that?
Tom, you just disappeared on us.
A little bit of a connectivity issue.
Yeah. We don't see you anymore.
I'm not sure what I can do about that.
Why don't you leave and come back?
Yeah, leave and come back. Just do a little refresh. That usually does the job.
All right. While Tom is doing that, folks have questions for us in the chat?
I have starred some.
Okay.
Here. Let's see. BJG, this is a comment. Michelle, your anxiety butter recipe worked great. Thank you for sharing. Anytime. More like the Secretary of Defensive. He's so thin-skinned. Someone else talked about the fact that we're in a holy war, which is exactly what they have said. And again, that's just another thing on Pete Hegseth. He was basically barred from serving in the National Guard on January 20th, 2021, because he was deemed too extreme because of the white nationalist tattoos on his body. Okay, Shell Anna, the Mayday Network. Julie and Michelle, no offense, Tom.
No, when you start with no, Tom, that basically means
I'm getting loud static. Are you guys sorry?
All right, we're gonna dump you, Tom, because we can't hear you. All right.
Sorry,
bye.
folks.
Bye.
All right, bye. Thanks for having me.
Yep, of course. Bye. So let's get rid of Tom.
There we go.
So no offense, Tom. We love Tom, but Tom has connectivity issues. With Joe Walsh, we're supposed to feel about what Netanyahu's doing because I'm scared Israel's confusing Dems. I can tell you how we're supposed to feel about what Netanyahu's doing. We're supposed to feel awful about it. But remember that Netanyahu is no more Israel than the United States is Donald Trump. And so the majority of Israelis also do not like Netanyahu. And so I think we need to just remember that as well. It is do not confuse Israel with him any more than we should confuse the United States with Trump.
Yep. Alicia H9076, prelim investigation reveals U.S. responsible for bombing girls' school. Yes, that's the news.
I'm surprised they actually released that investigation.
Yeah,
I thought that they would keep it.
Yeah, if the only thing I can think about is that they're like, well, if we resist the investigation, people will keep talking about it like they do the Epstein file. So let's just get it out there and then we can move on. Maybe that's a strategy. Who knows? Paula Haben H1R. Did you see what Dumpy said about Governor Pritzker yesterday? He just can't help himself insulting other people to make him feel better.
No, what did he say?
I don't know what he said either.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
Yeah, I missed that.
I don't know what he said.
Did you see Miles Taylor's post about the shoes? I did.
Did
you see this?
No.
Okay, so let me just pull up an article here.
Yes, about Rubio. No? Oh, because Rubio wore shoes. Like, Trump is getting everybody
so
shoes.
So this is, let me just pull this Wall Street Journal. Hold on. Let me do a screenshot here. Alex Leary. This was in the Wall Street Journal and other places on the 9th, I believe. Let me see here. There it is. Trump is obsessed with these $145 shoes and won't let anyone leave without a pair. The president has started doling out dress shoes to friends and advisors. All the boys have them. If you go on in the article, basically it says that all these men, all the president's men, are afraid to not wear them. Like they're all wearing a little costume, like a Trumpy costume. I'm surprised they don't have red ties on in this photograph as well. But he's obsessed with this $145 pair of shoes. He's giving them to everyone and making them wear them.
Yes, and there's a picture of Rubio wearing these shoes, and apparently Trump guesses your shoe size, and he guessed wrong on Rubio, so they were way too big on Rubio. But what I think is fascinating is who's paying for these shoes, because you know Donald Trump's not reaching into his pockets to pay for them. No. So who's paying for these shoes? Is that our taxpayer dollars paying for these shoes?
I'm sure it is. I mean, Mr. Cubic Zirconia is not buying anybody's shoes.
Yeah, he's not buying any shoes.
No, no way. No way.
It's very bizarre. I mean, it's very bizarre, and everybody has to buy shoes. Like, doesn't that? It's just it's insane. What's next? They're all going to wear red ties down to their, down to their crotch because it's.
I mean, do you remember when all those Republicans on the 4th of July went to Russia, and met with the Russians, and they all wore red ties. They all wore a little costume, a little Trumpy costume. So much like Mar-a-Lago face, they have to dress alike so that they can recognize each other out in the wild, and yeah. Let's see. Shell Anna 21. At the Mayday Network, quote unquote, blue down ballot theory made 0 sense, and we need to start realizing that.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that means, but please tell me.
Yeah.
Does the anxiety butter have massive amounts of THC? No, it does not. It does not. It's just regular butter, but the anxiety butter, which is like extra butter. Now, if you haven't seen this, it is on our shorts on YouTube. It's also on Instagram. There's two kinds of butter you can make. I have learned. One is just you whip heavy cream and you just let it keep going until it separates. And then, you have to rinse that piece of butter because you have to get all the buttermilk out of it. And then that's just butter. And you can salt it, don't salt it, whatever you want. But there's another version of this where you take the thing of heavy cream and you put some yogurt in it. And that creates a culturing process. So you cover it, leave it out on your counter for like 3 days. Take it off, and then you whip that the same way, all the same steps after the fact, and then you get like a cultured butter, which is closer to what they have in France, essentially. So, anyways, no THC in it though, just regular butter.
You can put THC in if you want. I know.
I mean, not really my speed, but to anyone else, please have at it. I'm more of a blue cheese martini gal.
Michelle and her umami. You are an umami girl. So am I.
I am. I'm not like a sweets person.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm a umami person. Yep.
Question: how shitpocalypse NYC 2026 now that the snow is melting? Did you, Julie? You saw all the stuff all over social media about when the snowbanks were melting. Now this during both of the storms that we had, back to back. A lot of dog owners were taking their dogs to
yes.
And then the melting, and then there was just like Jurassic Park dog bombs everywhere. It was.
I must say that is true because I take my dog out for walks all the time. Yeah. I clean up after my dog because I'm a human being.
You're a normal person.
I'm not a disgusting freak who just lets her dog do his thing on a snowbank and then just walks away.
Right.
So I clean up after my dog, but it is true that there is a lot more dog poop on the streets that has not been cleaned up. And I guess you're not going to clean up somebody else's dog poop because that would be gross.
Yeah.
So
it's an epidemic. It really, and I had already been noticing there was a problem in my neighborhood, and I almost called my city council person about it, who my husband and I happen to know. And, I was like, I don't want to be a Karen about it, but like people got to pick up their dog shit. It is everywhere in our neighborhood.
There is
really bad about it lately.
There is a particular park, little pocket park on the Upper West Side. It is, it's right. I don't know what this neighborhood is called, but it's where those Trump buildings are on the far west side.
Oh, like Riverside Boulevard?
Yeah, like that area. But the park is closer. The park is like, it's right off of West End Avenue. It's between West End and I think like Freedom Place, whatever it's called. And it's a little pocket park. And for years.
Fairly new.
No, not water.
10 years?
No, this place has been around forever.
Oh, okay.
It's not one of the new ones. Yeah, it's
okay.
Anyway, this place has for years. I don't understand. You walk through there and nobody picks up after their dog. It's like, is this like the one place in New York where you're allowed to just let your dog do your thing?
I don't
It's so
understand
gross.
it.
There are
so
kids
disgusting.
playing in the playground and like it's just surrounded by dog shit.
It's nasty.
It's nasty.
It is nasty. John Donahue, what time is the Americans rewatch tomorrow? Is it replacing Pax Americana?
No,
It is never going to replace that. We plan to just premiere it in the morning unless Julie, you have something in mind like early afternoon.
No. We're gonna premiere it if it's ready, Michelle. We're gonna premiere it at 8 o'clock.
Almost ready. I'm gonna be up probably pretty late. But because the captions there's a lot of people using a lot of Russian words, and I'm
gonna help you with those Russian words.
Yeah, I gotta get in there.
Yeah. So once we translate Russian into English for some of those Russian words, it is premiering 8 o'clock tomorrow morning on the Mayday Network right here. And you guys, it's really good. It's really good.
I was like going through and editing it, like just camera to camera, and I was just like, this is great.
Yeah, it is not Pax Americana because Pax Americana is about what's going on in the world right now, but this is more cultural stuff. Although I will say the first episode that we did was much more political is not the right word, but it talked.
It was more.
It was setting the scene,
laying the groundwork heavy in terms of like the geopolitical climate of the time, and also of the time when the show premiered in 2013. So it's like a 1981, and also Olga knows so much about the KGB and so much about the illegals program and Russian intelligence. Like she's really the expert. So she explains a lot of things that I certainly had no idea about. So I think I'm seeing things in a new light after hearing from Olga. That's for sure. Yeah.
And I am, so Kevin says, Julie going to use her 1970s Russian to help out. For once in my life, my 1970s Russian is actually very appropriate to the show because they would have been speaking 1960s, 1970s Russian because that's when they got, that's when they left the Soviet Union to come here. So not that they speak Russian there, but if they were to speak Russian, actually the Russian actors that are speaking Russian, that actually do speak Russian, like Nina, the Nina character.
She's like stunningly beautiful too.
Stunningly beautiful. They actually, it's very interesting because we'll talk about it. We talked about it. And watch the show. It's awesome. Please watch it. Watch it, share it, send it to everybody you know, and then watch the Americans for those of you who haven't watched. Yeah. Just follow it along with us. Just do one episode.
And you can, obviously, if you have cable, I believe it's on demand via your cable. But if you don't have cable, like you're one of the people like me who doesn't, you can buy the first season on YouTube for $19.99. Same, I think, on Apple TV. So like, yes, it does. It's a couple bucks, but you get like how many episodes out of it? Like a lot. So wish it was free for everybody for all the things, but unfortunately that is not the case. Okay. So John Winkler won. Anything on flipping Marjorie Greene seat flipping? It's very interesting. Very interesting. There's a runoff with like a Republican and a Democrat.
Well, there's a runoff. Which is incredible because the fact that a runoff even is taking place with a Democrat in it, it's a very, 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 very Republican seat. I mean, if that seat flips to the Democrats,
can you imagine?
The Democrats are going to win. They're going to pick up 100 seats. I mean, like don't get your hopes up, but the very fact that there's at least a runoff just shows how discouraged Republicans are.
Yeah, they should be.
And how energized Democrats are in that district. So
did you see there was a report out that the deputy chief of staff, whose name I can't remember because I don't know who he is really.
Tom, is it something Blair? Yeah.
Some white guy. You know what I mean? He apparently has been telling people to stop with the mass deportation talk and just keep it to we're deporting criminals. Like bring it back to criminals. And he thinks that should be the messaging because the other stuff is really hurting us. And I was like, yes, the messaging is not good, but also the actions are really terrible and everyone has a camera phone. So I don't really know how that's going to help you until you stop shooting people in the middle of the street. So,
Agreed.
Let's see. Keep on going here. I just got some headbands like Michelle. Thank you.
Oh, that's nice.
They're a lot of fun. You can help the bad hair day situation.
Not the Caroline Kennedy, the ones that you put back here.
I don't have the hairline. I've always had.
I don't have the hairline either.
Hairline for that.
Yeah, it wouldn't work for me. You have to have really thick hair for that.
Yeah, even when I was a kid, I was like, they don't look good.
Me neither.
No.
Okay. Let's see. Hold on.
Personally, my favorite Russia-related movies are from Russia with Love, 007. May I make a confession?
You've never seen a James Bond movie?
I've never seen a James Bond film.
You and my husband.
I've never
never
wanted to. I don't know.
He's also never seen one until I made him watch it. You got to start from the beginning. You got to start watching
from back in the day, right?
You got to start with Sean Connery. You got to start with Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
I think the best James Bond scene. This is not the best James Bond movie, but I think one of the best opening scenes, maybe the best opening scene of any movie is oh God, not From Russia with Love. What's the one with Ringo's wife in it? It's one of the Roger Moore ones. The Spy Who Loved Me. By the way, great song. Great song. Carly Simon song, Spy Who Loved Me. Great song.
Right.
But that opening scene where James Bond, you won't know this, Michelle, but people in the audience might know. He's being chased by a bunch of Russians, and I think he's in Austria or somewhere, and he's in the Alps skiing, and they're chasing him. It's a ski chase, and it's beautiful because obviously called James Bond chase scenes. It takes place in a beautiful part of the world. Yeah. So it's beautifully filmed, beautifully shot, and he's skiing. He skis off a cliff, and you're like, oh my God, obviously he can't land,
right?
Because, and then you hear that, dun, 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 I can't even do it, but that opening James Bond music, and then this parachute opens up, and it's this massive. Well, he's on skis. He's got a parachute, which you don't know. And it's this big Union Jack parachute. And it's like a big middle finger to the Russians because it's this big British Union Jack. Anyway, I know I'm describing this correctly. I think that is the best opening scene of any movie because it's so good. And then you go right into the Carly Simon Spy Who Loved Me.
I used to sing Skyfall a lot. I've sang that a lot.
Skyfall is good. I think Spy Who Loved Me. People think Live and Let Die is the best James Bond theme song. I actually think it's the Spy Who Loved Me. So good.
Yeah. Pretty good. I've got some other stuff here. Hold on. I starred some stuff.
That's right. Wait a second. Is that from The Spy Who Loved Me? I Need You, James, so does England. I remember that line from Moneypenny. I just don't remember. I didn't remember that was from The Spy Who Loved Me.
Let's see. Michelle, where did you get your fancy head wrap? So it is a headband. I'm a little embarrassed to admit because they're a little expensive, but I bought a lot of them during COVID when I was on Zoom all day long. It's from a company called Lele Saduki, and she makes a lot of headbands and a lot of earrings. And this is like the Greta Garbo one, I think. And it comes in lots of different colors. So
I love it.
Yeah, it's fun. Let's see. Later on, Michelle moves to a farm, makes butter and cheese. Don't threaten me with a good time. Don't threaten me with a good time. That sounds like not a bad time at all. I tell every time those sirens go by in the background of these videos, I'm always like, somewhere there is a horde of goats waiting for me.
I want a donkey farm. I've been threatening everybody in my family all my life. All I wanted was donkeys. I really love donkeys. I love them so much. I have a friend. My friend Jane sends me pictures of little rescue donkeys because she loves them too. We kind of talk about how we're going to get a farm together and get some donkeys. And I've been threatening my husband that we should get a farm in Pennsylvania and get some donkeys. Yeah. He's like,
you know who got a farm? You know, Laura Bell Bundy.
Yeah.
Broadway actress.
Yeah.
Who sang American Girl, if you know Seneca Project ad, American Girl. She and her husband moved to New Jersey, I believe New Jersey, and bought a huge farm.
Yeah.
It is ginormous. They have a whole Instagram account about it. You should go and look it up. They're always posting great stuff about animals and all kinds of things. And they're actually starting a theater camp at it, I think, this summer and bringing in a bunch of people. But I always look at her and I'm like, that's the perfect, because she's still city girl, but in the country. And also Jon Stewart, because when he left,
was a big animal rescue.
Yeah, he's got the animal sanctuary that he runs with his wife, which I was like, what a dream.
Michelle, a question from Substack for I think it's for you. Where do you get your glasses?
Oh, Warby Parker. Warby Parker.
But who makes them? Warby Parker?
Warby Parker. $95. As long as you don't need like the extra weird stuff.
Yeah.
You know, $95. All right. Let's not show everyone our tookuses. That would be delightful. Let's see. Have you ladies watched the movie 2073? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. Austin Powers movies actually made 007 movies look unfunny. So they try to put some funny in 2000. After Roger Moore left, I actually kind of stopped tuning in because they became kind of stupid. And then it became very heavy. I don't want heavy. I don't want stupid. I just want your Sean Connery, Roger Moore nonsense.
This sounds terrible, but every time you say Sean Connery, all I think of is like fake Sean Connery from the Jeopardy.
Oh my God.
On SNL, he's like, "I'll shake the rapist for $5."
Also, the anal rapist.
So,
your mother is a whore, Trebek.
Right, and you're right, and your mother's a whore. Oh God, it's so funny. It's so funny. No spoilers for future episodes, correct? Yes, we have all had an agreement with each other on the Americans podcast that we will not spoil anything.
Because I never finished watching it, so exactly. I will be watching it a lot, and I don't remember, to be honest with you, I don't remember much of it, so I'm kind of watching it for the first time again.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not helpful, Timothy Parrish, because I don't know what is the final scene and why it's performed. So, all right, Michelle.
I'm seeing if there's any more. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm a little behind here. As my cat. Joe Walsh won't admit Reagan committed treason to win his election. Did he? I don't know that. Maybe.
You can live here and grow stuff and take care of my dad's goats, and I'll live in New York. Rosie, I would love to move to Australia.
That sounds great.
And take care of your dad's goats. Trust me, it is much more peaceful where you are than where we are right now.
Yeah.
So
I also every time I go home, there is a petting farm thing that's across the street from a dairy farm, right outside Sackett's Harbor. And it's actually where I think if you watch this network, you probably saw me tell the story about Tom Homan's hometown and how they, ICE came and took a family, and it was really awful. And the whole community came out and got them back and the whole thing. Anyways, that's where they work. They work at this place. Oh, okay. And they have a little goat thing, and you can feed all the goats. And without fail, I go every single time. I go sit in the little goat thing. I sit down and I just wait for goats, and I will just sit there. It's the best time. It makes me so happy. Go goats. So,
see, I like donkeys. That's how I feel about donkeys. I love donkeys.
Yeah, donkeys and ponies mean.
I already picked my name out for my donkey. So I have 3 options because they're going to be 2 donkeys. And I've already informed everybody. It's going to be either salt and pepper.
Ooh. Salt and pepper or salt and pepper?
No, salt and pepper. I'm not going old school. Right? Salt and pepper. A lemon and lime. Or if you like French comic books, Asterix and Obelix. Yes. Donkey yoga. I just got invited to do goat yoga.
Ooh, a dream.
I've never done it. Well, come with me. It's going to be, my friend is running, this is going to sound crazy. I have a friend whose parents were very famous Olympic rowers, like crew. And so in their memory, she started.
Must be very tall. Must be tall people.
Tall. Yeah. And she runs a regatta in South Jersey.
Oh.
And she keeps inviting
me. I gotta go to New Jersey for this. I mean, it's fine.
South Jersey, not Central. South Jersey. Yeah. Whole different Jersey.
Okay. I mean, I'll probably sit in child's pose the whole time, but it's fine.
So I'm not very good at yoga. I'm going to go do goat yoga with her at this regatta, which is the most ridiculously. Every part of the sentence is crazy. I'm going to do goat yoga at a regatta in South.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Let's see. Are they getting rid of the horse-drawn carriages in New York finally?
Oh my God! I wish. I
hate them so much. I hate them.
They're not, because the stupid union is so powerful.
I know, they fight with like the Irish guys and stuff.
Yeah, there's all these Irish guys. Liam Neeson gets involved on the side.
Yeah, I was like, Liam Neeson gets so angry, and then it ends up in the Post and the whole thing.
So they don't. But I'll tell you, that's why I voted for Bill de Blasio the first time, because he promised. My husband too. That's why he promised to get rid of the carriages, and he never did. And every time I'm in Central Park, well, not now because it's not that weather, but like every time if you're in Central Park South in New York, and you see them all lined up, and it's like 100 degrees outside, and
It's
it's
awful.
so hot.
And the horses that they park down by the Daily Show Theater, which is like on.
Well, that's where their stables are.
Right. They've got these horses going down 9th Avenue.
Yeah.
In the dead of summer, and
fighting with like tunnel traffic of people during rush hour.
Right. And cars, and these poor horses are so hot. And on several occasions, they've passed out.
Yeah, they've died. No, there's a horse that dropped dead.
It's
It's animal cruelty. It sucks.
Like we have cars now. Like it's fine. And it's also like $50 a second to be in those things anyway. So, it's just, we don't need to be doing this anymore. Do you remember back in the day, there was a stable on the Upper West Side, and there was horses. People could keep their horses there, and you could ride. You can go horseback riding in
the park. Yeah.
Yeah. Where was that?
I think it was in the park.
Yeah, but the stable, was it like 91st Street or something?
I think it was uptown. Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember seeing that when I first moved to New York and being like, one day I'm going to make enough money to do this. And then, no.
I wouldn't ride a horse in the city for any amount of money, even if I had all the money in the world.
Oh, no. I thought that I would be, in my mind, I was like, horses, I'm going to ride horses. One of my best friends had a bachelorette party in Poughkeepsie. And on the last day, she's like, I want to go horseback riding. And I'm like, this is fantastic. When I tell you, I got the spiciest horse out of the bunch, started galloping, trollop. It was the most terrifying 45 minutes of my life. I ended up like having to stop, and like they had to come and save me. It was, I thought we were just going to ride it in a circle, but no, we were going through. Oh my God.
I used to ride in my 20s. There was a place that was really cheap in New Jersey, and I used to live in New Jersey. And so in my 20s, it was like no money at all to go riding, and I loved it. But the problem is I started as an adult, and I just couldn't quite do the jumps the way I wanted to. And the number of times that I was thrown is just.
Well, anybody who saw Gone with the Wind as a little kid, you know what I mean? Like they'll scar you.
I was close to being Bonnie Blue Butler on a horse, and I was close to being Sonny Bono on a.
Oh God, on the skis. Mayor Palm Springs, no bueno.
All right.
DPD 5844S. It's about 9 years since I've been to New York. Do they still have Tavern on the Green? They do. They've remodeled because they had some issues with the union and something else, and they end up closing.
They shut down for a while. They remodeled. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, I haven't actually. I've never been.
We used to go there. Whenever we go whenever we stay in the city.
They have Tavern on the Go now, so you can like get a coffee in the park, which is pretty cool because that little area right there is kind of a desert. If you
they have a Pan Quotidian right there too. You could also just get snacks or something.
Oh, true. Yeah. If you want some overpriced coffee, by all means. Yeah. Let's see. I always get that spicy horse. Yeah, the spiciest one. I was like, why is this happening to me? Question: can we tag, or should we send you posts of interest? Like on Instagram? I mean, you can. I can't guarantee that I'm going to see them because too much for two people to handle. But certainly, maybe Blue Sky might be better. You might see that, Julie.
I would see it on Blue Sky. Yeah.
Send it on Blue Sky.
Yeah, send it on Blue Sky. I'm not really on Instagram as much as Michelle is, but
yeah, and I'm not on the Blue Skies and things. Let's see. Just seeing if there's anything else here. Doge story about stealing Social Security. Yeah, we should come on and talk about that at some point soon, because that is just so maddening and crazy. I can't even get into it. I'm so angry. It's not problems with the union. It's called Build Union. I understand. I'm a member of a union. My father was a union leader. I understand, but there was problems between the two, and that's why the restaurant closed down. Anyways, that's it.
All right, peeps. It was so good. I love AMAs. It's so good to be with everybody. Everybody on Substack who joined us, thank you for joining us too. And other than that, what else is going on? Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. Yeah. Watch.
Should we watch the trailer?
Why don't we play us out the trailer, and also at 11 o'clock tomorrow? Yeah, so just some programming. That's at 8. 11 o'clock, Olga and I will be on. We're on again on Friday with Jeff Jarvis at 11. And then we are back on Saturday with our show, Saturdays for Sanity. And that's that.
That is that.
All right, folks. John Winkler, thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Once upon a time in 2013, a television show debuted on FX about deep cover Soviet spies living quietly in suburban America. Part of what the KGB called the Illegals program. It was a different world then. Barack Obama was president. And then, of course, there was this.
Russia, I indicated, is a geopolitical foe. And I said in the same paragraph, I said, and Iran is the greatest national security threat we face.
In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back. You know, the Cold War's been over for 20 years.
Back then, the Americans felt like history. How quaint. Now, it feels like it was a warning.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find.
Welcome to The Illegals, the Americans Rewatch podcast. A deep dive into one of the greatest television dramas ever made, and the real history behind it. Each episode, we rewatch The Americans with historians, Russian experts, disinformation researchers, and people who lived through it, including a Soviet refugee, intelligence experts, cultural critics, and storytellers. We'll discuss all of it, the music, the performances, and yes, we will absolutely be discussing the wigs. The Cold War didn't just shape our history. It shaped the world we're living in right now. The United States won the Cold War. Or did we? The Illegals, the Americans Rewatch podcast. Launching soon from the Mayday Network.